All right, all right, all right. What's happening?
What's happening?
Oh man, it's nice long. For us to get an extra day, it's a long weekend.
Yep.
How were things
Good,
how were
man.
things down your way?
Good. We had Bedazzle and Corey were in town this last week, so we've been playing pretty hard, to put it lightly.
Looks like you've been teeing it up quite a bit. How's the golf
Yeah,
going?
it's not that good. It's not that good, but yeah, we have played a lot of golf.
How's the back holding up?
Not good. In fact, my back's out right now as we speak. It was out yesterday. I couldn't even play until I had about 4 vodkas in me.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That a little bit of lubricant, right?
Yeah. Wait for my chiropractor over here to fix me up.
Hook you up. Amber, walk over, walk on you.
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, what's up, everybody, man? Thank you guys for tuning in. I know coming off the weekend, coming in to this week, last day of the month, what kind of take an assessment where you're at and what's the targets for June to get to the halfway point of the year. I know, for us, cuz all over the years, it was our focus to get to halftime and get in, really assess where things are at, what adjustments need to be made. I know typically we hold pretty steady, even if we're a little behind coming out of the first quarter, just because we know typically that's kind of how things have always operated for us. So really holding steady. And I know all of our ATL people hate me saying this, but 28-3, but you got to know the score. And know where you're at and know what's working, what's not working, and really take those assessments, those adjustments at halftime.
Indeed.
What you and I were chatting before we hit go. Just hearing just hearing some things, just kind of the rumblings and kind of what's going on. And I had an agent just tell me too, like, man, I'm seeing more agents make a move now heading into summer than, typically they have in the past. And for me, that just means that they're not getting the leadership. They have so much uncertainty. They just don't know what they should be doing in the market right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, markets are shifting. The projection is, whatever the number was, 10 rate hikes this year. We'll see kind of as they go. The Fed's going to a couple meetings, and one in June and one in August that'll really determine whether we go full on recession or not. But definitely shifting of the market. Buyers that they can't afford what they could have afforded before. Interest rates are as they're ticking up. So yeah, I mean I think we're going to see inventory start to creep up, going finishing probably later part of the summer, after the summer. And a lot of markets, inventory is going to start to tick up. And so, like you mentioned, before we jumped on here and hit go, pay attention to your market reports. Do your due diligence. Be paying attention. The thing that I remember as the market shifted in 07 and 08, that was the most painful was, some of the communication, systems around communication with our clients wasn't there because it didn't need it, because things were moving off the market rather quickly. So you didn't have a price reduction call. You didn't have some of those scheduled calls that we needed when the market did shift. And as fast as it shifted, it was just very challenging to get a hold. I think we had 200 listings at the time, but making sure you have a system in place for communicating what's going on in the marketplace with your active inventory is going to be something that, little things like that you got to pay attention to now.
Because 100%. And I think, we used to talk about agents in higher price point markets could get away for bad behavior. And, I always tell everybody, we wouldn't be sitting here today if it wasn't for Lawton, Oklahoma. And, the price point and, I's dotted, T's crossed, every detail matters, every revenue source matters. And, that's, I think one of my last conversations with Brett Jennings, he said, that's what I appreciated and loved about you guys so much, is that you had to think, what are all the ways? And here he is, one of the highest price point market averages, and he still lives by that. And that's why he's doing the things he's doing, because he has that mentality that every detail matters and what are all the ways. And I just have seen, what's the statistic of agents that are in the business that have been in the business less than 3 years? It's astronomical. And so they've never seen or experienced anything like this. And one of the things, I had a conversation with an agent last week, and they're up in the Jersey market. And she said, last week we had just as many price reductions as we had homes come on the market. I said, well, what does that mean? She goes, well, 30 days ago, there were 3 in her price points, and she works about 8 to about 1.6, 1.7. She goes, we had 3 homes this in 30 days. She goes, now we got 40. And so she's like, hey, same number of price reductions as homes coming on the market. And so we're going to start to see that. And you and I were, before we jumped, I was like, so what's your communication to your clients? What's your communication to the market? What's your communication to the seller? She goes, well, I articulate, I tell them this. I'm like, I said, telling is not going to work moving forward. You have to show. Mm-hmm. And so I know our go-to was always, first and foremost, high level view, 30,000 foot view was Keeping Current Matters. Yeah. And we had a scheduled day in the office every month. We watched Keeping Current Matters. Our job was to make sure our agents were educated through what Harney and his crew were putting out, because they did the work. They did the work. What's Keeping Current subscription right now?
I don't know. It's like $24 or something. It's not. I think it's under $30. They may have another layer, a couple layers to it or whatever. But yeah, it's you can't afford not to have it. It's the best. It's basically compiled from all the best sources, the best data that's out there as far as what's going on in the marketplace. James asked a question on the best way to measure what's going on in the market in real time, pending ratio. So like if you pay attention to your pending ratios across all price brackets, you'll start to see that move before anything else moves. So, as a percentage of the homes available, the ones that are under contract in that same price bracket will start to go down. As that starts to go down, it'll start to create a gap, and pricing will start to kind of come down with it. And so definitely pay attention to pending ratio. We used Real Market Reports, I think realmarketreports.com, and they would go in and do a custom report for us for every marketplace that we were in. And it's just a real simple deal, but it has all of that breakdown. And that's what we use. We use Keep Current Matters. We use Real Market Reports. Those were my 2 favorite. We used Altos.
We used Altos for some time as well. And
Broker Metrics we used for a while. But you just want to know what's going on. Be the expert. Like don't not be the expert. Be the expert.
Be the expert. And so getting the Real Market Reports, and I'm gonna put the math together for everybody in just a second. So the Real Market Reports, you can expand, you can have as many as you want. I know Lawton, I think we had 5. We had one for Lawton, we had one for Elgin, we had one for Cash, we had one for Duncan, and then we had one for our farm area for Pecan Valley. And we got them weekly. And so I think if you go that frequency, that number of reports, it's maybe $50 a month, maybe more now. I know we had at least 50 of them in the Dallas office because we had one for subdivisions, we had one for every city. It was crazy, but we had that. But I want to just for everybody kind of listening in, when you said pending ratio, so I just pulled up a example of the Real Market Reports. If you go to realmarketreports.com, you can sign up. You can see an example report there. And so there, by definition, pending ratio is sometimes called list to pending ratio. It's a measure of how fast properties are going under contract versus how fast they are being listed. And you nailed it. That's the ratio that you want to be paying attention to in real time. And what I would say is I would make the investment to get this report weekly. It's a small investment. Let's just say $100. Okay. Then I really believe right now the other best report is going to be Focus First. The reason is because it's a visual pricing guide. It creates visuals based upon the data you feed it. So you have to do some work. You got to put it in there, but it creates reports. And this is what I was telling that agent last week. I was like, you got to show them. You can't just tell them, because they're listening, they're believing their neighbor. You haven't built enough trust for them to believe you. That's why you got to lean in on. And because this, I remember this from you very well, was that, hey, I'm not the bad guy here.
Mm-hmm.
Our system, you agreed, our system is proven to sell tens of thousands of homes across the country every year. It's proven. What we're testing is the market, and what's the market telling us? And it allows them to come to their own damn conclusion of where their home needs to be positioned in the market based upon their goals.
Right.
You were not the bad guy.
Yep.
You are not the bad guy. It's the market. And I think focus first might be $30. So let's say keeping current matters 30, 30. Let's say you spend 100 on real market reports, $160, and you have more data at your fingertips to be able to articulate and present and give than any other agent. It's ridiculous.
Yep.
And you don't have to go to that. I mean, you can probably be closer to $115. Right. You wouldn't need all those real market reports. Man, I
don't think we could have done what we did without having, the data. Having the data is a table stake in the business. Like if you're not educated on what's going on in the marketplace, then you shouldn't be advising people on real estate.
That's right.
Bottom line.
Yeah, I mean, I tell you how powerful this is. You guys listening in. So we created a kind of an influencers list of who's who of decision makers and small business owners in our community, from the mayor to all of the city manager, the city attorney, all of the city councilmen and women, the decision makers at housing at Fort Sill, all of the bank presidents, all of the small business owners, Chamber of Commerce, Economic Development Committee. Like, you just start running through who makes decisions or who needs to be in the know. And it was on that list. It was about 115 influential people just in our small community. And I'll never forget, man. I think we were sitting in Madigan's office. So David Madigan he's regional president for Arvest Bank, and he was our banker for years and years. And he would print out and have his market report on his desk every time we would go in there. And I made a point just to go in there every week just to say, hey, and it was on his desk and he was always talking about it. And when we knew that they were making loan decisions, we about got our heads chopped off by the builders, but the loan committees, the loan officers were making decisions based upon the reports we were sending them. That's how powerful it was.
Yeah, that was extremely valuable. You were consistent as all get out, making sure that happened every week. But you want to be looked at as the expert. Provide that. Now today with social media, it's 10 times easier. You can shoot a video, use those slides, keep current matters that give you. Just keep people in the know what's going on. Be that person that people want to hear from because they want to know what's going on with real estate right now. Because now that information is more valuable, and it's people are questioning, what's happening, what are rates going to do, what are you hearing, all this kind of stuff. That keeping current matters to keep you abreast of. Definitely put that out there.
100%. I would say too, if you haven't gone through CHSA, CHBA in a while, you better get back through it. You better get back in there and train. You got to be able to articulate your value proposition and your differentiated, proven process in being able to walk people through. I'm telling you guys, if you're not doing these fundamentals, and I understand the market kind of conditioned you with maybe some bad behavior, but you guys cannot skip any steps, especially with the market changing at all. At all. It is so, so important. Got to be training all the time. All the time. What are some agent contribution, agent attraction video ideas for how to handle the changes coming? Cuz, what do you think?
That's a good question. Yeah. So, yeah, I think it still goes back to, helping agents with growing their business. I think, the one thing that we know is that, a small percentage of people are looking to make a change. But I think most of the best agents that we can always attract are the ones that are trying to grow their business. They're trying to figure out how to grow their business. So continuously putting out anything that's helping an agent do more deals, increase their production is probably always going to be the right angle. In a shifting market, they're going to be. It's kind of what we learned with coaching was, even when there's uncertainty, there were still agents that were now looking to spend the money in coaching more so than, we didn't lose a bunch of clients because the market got bad. We actually gained about the same. It really stayed the same. So agents are always looking to grow when things are challenging or when the market starts to shift and things of that nature. So I would just be continuously teaching people what you're doing that's working. That's probably the best angle for agent attraction as possible, is create an audience, add value to as many people as you can, do that over and over and over again, and your agent attraction is going to take care of itself, right?
Add value, add value, add value. I think look at, just kind of going back to Coach Burt and then all the marketing fundamentals that we've known over the years is, who's your person, who's your ideal avatar, and then what problems do they have, and then how are you uniquely, qualified to solve that problem, and then just talk on it, and then provide solutions, provide resources, being able to send it their way to help them solve their problem that they're wrestling with. New agents getting into the business, I mean, they're either going to get out or they're going to bounce around to someone they believe that can help them, either ideas to get business, a proven framework to help them, articulate their value. And, they need accountability. And, if you're a team or if you have some resources, you can maybe take some things off their plate. But that's really the handful of things that, most agents, most people are looking for is, man, they just need some clarity. They need some direction. For sure. Angel. Yep. First week of December. We'll be in Frisco, probably Frisco area, first week of December. We hadn't locked anything in for our live in person. We do have Agent to CEO coming up in the Land in September, piggybacking Al's Rock and Rescue event. So we've got that rolling. And then I know we're going to see a bunch of these people in Orlando in a couple weeks. For sure. What else is on y'all's mind out there? What questions do you have? Fire away. I'd love to dive in and help. I would say too, cuz is making sure that everybody's really measuring and keeping track of what they're doing.
Always.
More so than ever. They just, we've been really reactive to the day, but if you're measuring, you can be proactive so you know where the constraints are, where the bottlenecks are. That's going on in the business. So if you guys are listening in, make sure you're taking the time to measure the daily activities.
Such a simple thing. Show me your calendar. I'll tell you how you're doing. If you would be embarrassed to show us your calendar, then you know what you got to do.
Yeah. Then you just got to start tracking. The reason that, we talk about the end of the day reports. And for those of you that don't know, the end of the day report is just real simple. Hey, what did I do today? What challenges or obstacles or roadblocks did I encounter? A players overcome them. They work right through them. And then any questions that I know I need to get answered. And the real power in that, and this is what I always tell people, if you're actually doing that and you're taking an autopsy on the day, you can say, well, what was my intent to start the day? And did I do what I intended to do? And if I didn't, what happened? Now, what adjustments do I need to have making tomorrow? And you get into those, and you said it right from the beginning. check your communication cycles, check your communication. And that's the communication and the awareness with yourself. And are you doing the things you need to do daily that's going to move your business forward? And if you're not paying attention to it, you're just being so reactive. You're not in control. You're on somebody else's agenda.
Well said.
Oh man. This damn wind here. Like I can understand if I was where you were at on the island, the wind blows, but Christmas. Got my head all sideways. What else going on?
Man, just getting geared up for shareholders is next. Actually, I gotta. I have to prepare myself for when Jeffrey gets here, Amber's brother. So that's another week of shenanigans I've got to get prepared for coming up 2 weeks from now. But then the shareholders after that.
Off tour.
When people come, the fun thing about living in Puerto Rico is when people come on vacation, they don't realize you're not on vacation. It doesn't occur to them that you might actually have some shit to do.
I have stuff to do. Oh, that's good. You got to get people coming down that have stuff to do as well.
Right.
Oh, geez. That's awesome. Yeah, so we have shareholders coming up. I know we've got a full stacked lineup. Just tons of stuff going on. So I think we've got a couple hours Monday morning for those of you that will be there on Monday. Sitting in with Justin Nelson and Joel Perso. Justin and they're the main sponsor for shareholders this year. So we've got a morning session sitting in with them, just power of leveraging VAs. I think Holly's got kind of a branding piece that she's going to present with that Monday morning. And then Tuesday morning, I got the green light on the presentation. So I don't know.
Nice.
Their color scheme this year, they should have consulted with us. I'll put it that way.
Right.
Right. It's we're having to make it work. But anyway, so we've got that session Monday morning, then we got Coach Burt Tuesday morning, then we got Coach Burt Tuesday afternoon, which is he's always fire.
Yep.
Always fire. So make sure if you guys are coming in, make sure you have your tickets. Getting it all set. Rock out some Coach Burt Tuesday afternoon. For sure. Cause some thoughts around, what a lot of these agents need to be thinking about here, kind of the halftime, focus reset heading into the second half of the year. What would some things that, folks need to really be thinking about?
Man, for me, it's the thing we should always be thinking about, and that's getting listings. That's I think putting an extraordinary effort in the direction of getting listings is going to pay dividends for a long time, right? I think if you look at what you've spent in lead generation, where you're look at your credit card statement and look at where you're spending money, and if it's not in going after the listing side of the business, that's something that you need to really consider shifting your money in the direction of getting listings.
If they haven't gone full tilt or full commitment, one, obviously developing the skills, rediving back through CHSA, really knowing how to articulate your value, understanding, the process from, set the appointment, qualify the appointment, build authority, coming in, building rapport, articulating your value. Do you believe that this is the best process to help you accomplish getting to X, Y, Z? Yes. Great. Let's move forward. And then not skipping, like do the work, right? The photos are on point, the description's on point, the house is on point. We come to market, we create as much demand as we can, even is still in today's market. I mean, still creating that demand and creating opportunities. I still, I'm pushing everybody's like, do open houses, not necessarily to get traffic from there, but to be able to use that as a reason to connect to all of the other homes around that property. And just like, it's the amplification. It's the number of impressions. You talk about this all the time. It's like, and to me, an open house is an event. And so we understand, even on the agent attraction side of things. And I told this to Gaydosh, because Gaydosh is like one of the best at doing events. I mean, he's built his whole career off of doing events in a small neighborhood. And it didn't even realize, even for a guy like Gaydosh, it's like, Gaydosh, your open houses are events. I said, why are you not treating them just like you would your 4th of July bash? Why would you not treat it just like your end of the school, Kona truck event? Like, treat them as events. You're creating impressions in the marketplace. And then you follow up forever. You build, rapport. You have your raving fan program. I mean, guys, that's the process. I mean, that's the linear process from start to finish. But where should they start? It's like, man, I'm half-assed doing this. Besides, I got to learn the skill sets, learn the process. But like, where should I go for opportunities? Like, Jay, give me like five things that I need to be paying attention to get listings right now.
Yeah, man. I mean, the first one is it's not the most popular answer, but I can tell you, of everyone that I've ever seen become successful, really successful on the listing side, it's FSBOs and expireds. The reason why is because the cost to acquire that lead is zero, right? So what does it cost to get a listing in terms of marketing? I think at one point we were it's between $750 to $1,500 to generate an active listing, to get a listing, to spend money on marketing to get a listing. So the skills can be learned, but you might as well take the free deals, right? If you can get 2 or 3 deals a month coming from FSBOs and expireds, don't tell me they don't exist, because they do. they're there in your marketplace too. That's the seed money for you to start really investing in building your personal brand. And I think that's the next layer, that you want to add to it is, hey, where am I going to spend this money? There's all the mediums that you have to deliver your message to the marketplace, whether it's TV or it's radio or it's social media or whatever media that you want to use. Now you're just wanting to match the market with the message that what's your value proposition? How are you communicating that? What's both personally relevant and professionally relevant to your audience that you're building. And that's what's going to help you build your listing inventory. Is people see you everywhere, they think of you first. When they whatever that subset of people is, whether it's on Instagram or it's Facebook or it's whatever media you're using to get in front of them, it's consistency over time. And that's what's going to build your inbound listing business. And it's not as complex as people make it, but you have to start somewhere.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. And just, I mean, right there, proof last week, just hearing, she's like, I mean, price reductions are on the rise and it's just going to continue to be there. And you got to get in there and being able to, articulate and demonstrate what's really going on in the market. But yeah, those opportunities are there. For sell by owners are there. They're just overpriced. Those are just like, and nobody else is calling them. You really want to get down to it. I mean, how many agents are really like consistently being disciplined, making the outbound, making the effort to even do it? It was funny. I remember DJ telling me in Pittsburgh, he's like, yeah, it's like, ain't nobody calling for sell by owners. He goes, I'm like the only one calling them. I'm like, keep calling them. Keep calling them. Keep calling them. Yeah. Gina, GM Petro, she came in on, you remember Gina, she came in on one deal and, it was a for sale by owner. And so she like was bringing an offer and everything. And the person goes, hey, you need to reach out to our agent. We just signed a listing agreement. She goes, let me guess who it was. Was it DJ? Like she knew because he was the only one in the marketplace that was making the calls.
It's so crazy to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Me too. What's up, everybody? What's on your mind? What questions do you have? Where's Baker going? You heard?
Man, I haven't heard anything. I don't know. I don't think anybody wants to pick up that contract.
Nope. I'm gonna give him another chip on his shoulder.
Yeah.
Man, did you watch any basketball?
Yeah, we've been watching. Going to be a interesting series. I hope the Celtics pull it out.
It'd be really interesting. Be really interesting. I thought Jimmy Butler was single-handedly going to carry them in. Jeez.
Wow, what a heck of a season he had, man. I really wanted to see the Heat beat the Celtics.
They were beat up, banged up. It's crazy. Just the effort that he put in those last couple games. Unbelievable. What was I going to ask you? Hey, have you gone through Cameron's book yet? Endure?
Which one?
Endure? Cameron Haynes?
No. Nope. Good one?
Yeah, it is. Rogan has the open, and then Goggin has the end of it. I'm about halfway through, but just listening to Rogan's opening of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, unbelievable.
I'm on it.
I listened to him on. So, Cameron was doing the podcast tour for the book launch. I listened to him on him and Rogan's conversations. They're always good. So that was a good one. But I started listening to him on Andy Frisella's podcast. You know how amped up he gets. So it was good. Yeah, definitely worth listening to for sure. I've had a lot of people going back through Goggins' book here lately. Can't hurt me.
Yeah. Such a good
It's always
book.
a good revisit. Anything you've been diving into?
Man, I've been listening to two different podcasts. The Pomp podcast, which is more crypto, but it's been really educational too, as far as like what's going on in the market and some of the people that they interview. So that's one, and then what's the other one? Shamath. I can't remember how you spell Shamath's last name, but it's called All In, the All In podcast. Another good one, more around the financial markets and stuff like that. Those are two that I've been listening to pretty regular. Cool.
Yeah. All In. It's a good title.
Yeah, it's a good podcast.
That's awesome. Very cool. What else? What you excited about moving into the summer here?
Man, shoot. Well, I'm excited the kids are out of school and we're getting to do lots more fun stuff with the kiddos. So that's always fun. But yeah, man, I'm pumped about attracting agents to EXP, what Mike's doing, the events that he's putting on. If you haven't been to one of those, my gosh, it's literally everything that I think we've learned in our lifetime of building businesses all wrapped up into a 2-day course. When it comes to really from a marketing perspective, it's really good stuff. So I think he's got another one coming up this month. I'm not sure how many more of those he's going to do, but if you haven't had a chance to get to one, it's really, really good.
That's awesome. That is awesome. It would be it would be good no matter what. All right, guys. Just can't tell you guys enough. Tracking, if you're not all in on the listing side, you better get all in on the listing side. And the reason too, there's some shit happening in the market. We've always said, hey, 25. Hey, I don't know much is going to change between now and then. And then the last half of the decade, and then all bets off. Right. There's just some shit that's going on with institutional buyers. that if you are not all in on building a brand, getting connected in your community, and it's what Kennedy told you, right? It's the Darwinian thinning of the herd, and it's always just a matter of time. But what's happening, if you guys aren't paying attention to, and you know it's going on in your market, I guarantee you have multiple institutional buyers that are buying and gobbling up as many properties as they can. What does that mean? What's the ripple effect of that? And so if you're not really digging in the roots and being a force within your community, then you better start. And it's almost the playbook that we took, right? Get involved with the influencers, the decision makers, go deep on those relationships, pour value, add into them, build your brand, go deep in certain neighborhoods. Like, if not, and you're just being reactive to buyers, you're probably going to be part of that thinning of the herd. It's coming. It is coming. All right, guys. If you guys need anything, feel free to reach out. Make sure if you're coming to Shareholders in Orlando, Sunday is the 19th. Yeah, it's Father's Day, but they kick off on the 20th. So 20th and 21st. We've got stuff going on that morning of the 20th. Then definitely make sure you guys are in the big room on Tuesday, the 21st, 20th Monday. So 21st Tuesday, and then get Coach Burt access, get a ticket to that afternoon. The rooms are limited in size, and they're not flexible. So make sure you guys get your ticket, and we'll see you guys in Orlando. Cuz, appreciate you.
Appreciate you, man.
See you, bud. Bye.